Welcome to ZTV, folks. This is your boy reporting the real, and this is something I want to get into because I've been paying attention to Umar Johnson for a very long time, and this man has been saying he's going to open up a school for like the last, going on like 8 years, 6, 7 years now, since like 2014 or 2013 or whatever, what have you. And I'm making a video to his followers. These are going to be to the people of the Umar Johnson Nation. Okay, I'm speaking to you directly because you are the ones who keep this man relevant. You are the ones who keep donating to this man. You are the ones who keep on giving him money. And he has shown you, he's basically giving you nothing. Yeah, he's shown you a building, but he still hasn't opened it up yet. And I'm trying to figure out what's taking so long for those who are wondering why. So I'm going to pretty much break some stuff down for you. Because I'm here to let y'all know that there is not going to be no school. I'm going to tell you off the top. This man is just pipe dreaming you. Alright, now I'm we're going to look at the opinion of one of his biggest supporters, which is Urban X. This is somebody who loves Umar. He has expressed that in this video. I'm not going to play you the full thing, but I am going to add my commentary to that. We're going to see what Urban X says in this video. Because people need to understand what's really going on here and why he hasn't opened up a school yet. Because I think I have the actual answers. And just letting you know this off the top that I prayed about this. And, I'm not going to use God's name in vain. But let's just say I have wisdom. I have a spirit of discernment. So I can see into things. And Umar is somebody who's known as a false prophet. Right before we continue, he is a false prophet. Okay, the man got real demons. But let's listen in. We're gonna see what these two brothers have to say, and then I'm gonna continue on to another video. Right, but again, salute to Urban X and Malcolm in this video. We're gonna get their opinion, and again, this is from one of his supporters. Okay, we're gonna hear from one of his supporters. They're gonna hear somebody that's opposing him.
So I have to say that up top because Dr. Umar is a polarizing figure. And he's so polarizing, and what he stands for is so real that a lot of people cannot separate his principles of the man with the mission. Okay. You follow what I'm saying? See, the man and the mission can be two different things. Okay. Right? A lot of people love Malcolm, but when he broke from the Nation of Islam and had another mission, right. whoa, I love Malcolm, but that mission, right? And they weren't labeled haters, it's just, yo. So when I think about Dr. Umar and all he stands for and what he wants to do for these children, I never doubted. I never, but when I...
And that's one of the things that people were so impressed by. They were so going behind because... Again, Umar comes off somebody who really loves children, right? Just like this brother said, he's like somebody to like. But you're gonna come to find out, Dr. Umar has a real crazy side. He has a real violent side. As we continue on,
I started hearing about the school, right, and how he was attempting to go about it. My logistics, I said that just doesn't make sense.
Right, and I remember we were watching one of his radio interviews, and this is like. Before he announced that he had the school, and we were just like, yo, I get why he has such a cult following.
Absolutely,
we totally like when he ran out like 6 points. I'm like, I agree with that.
I agree with that. 95% of the shit he talk about, exactly. I agree with it. The 5% is the school. I don't agree with it,
and I'm just like,
I don't because it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna get to the latest shit. All right. And then I'm going to give you what I think is going on, and people just going to have to deal with it. All right? It's physically impossible and financially impossible in the next 6 months for you to hire construction workers, engineers, electricians, carpenters, people who do security work, graphics designers, embroiderers, website people, nurses, people who make food, all of this shit, and you need $1 million? Wait a minute.
Now, what this man is trying to say is it takes hundreds of millions of dollars to run a school properly. And I'm just keeping it real. My mom, Yvonne Hankins Scott, she recently she had retired from the Long Beach Unified School District in 2016. This was a few years ago to this day. My mom retired for 26 years, and to run those schools, it takes hundreds of millions of dollars. 1 million, 2 million, that ain't enough. Because not only do you gotta build the school, or you gotta make sure the school is properly up to code, like this man said, you gotta have people actually working on it. You gotta have construction workers, you gotta have plumbers, you gotta have electricians. All that costs money. And on top of that, you gotta have food served, you gotta have proper nutrition being brought in there, so you gotta hire cafeteria workers. These teachers all have a salary. Okay? So how's Umar expect to really get a school running if you don't even got the proper funding? And yet people wondering why it's taking so long. You finna find out.
Wait, that is physically fucking impossible. But his followers, because they love him so much, they're riding. They poked their chests out a couple of weeks ago. See, we told you he's got the school.
And that's another thing. It's hard to tell them anything. Again, for all his subscribers, all of Umar Johnson's followers, please listen before you go on my video talking that trash, calling me a coon. I'm a sellout. I'm for the white man, this and that. I'm all for my people, y'all, but y'all need to know who you're falling behind. You need to do your research. Okay? Because the problem is there's a lot of people who are ignorant. They want to be led. They're looking for somebody like Umar to lead them. Which I understand why you looking for a savior, a hero, but see me, I don't look towards man. I look towards the Most High. And Umar is definitely somebody you should not follow behind. And I'm just keeping honest, my own opinion. You know, this is America. You can do what you want to do, but again, like, why is it taking him so long to build a school if he's really for you?
Yeah, but it came. Did you see the stipulations that it came with?
Right, they ignored that.
They ignored that
Ignored it, yeah.
because cognitive dissonance.
It's not only white people.
It's not only white people,
Yeah.
right? And when you hear him speak and you hear his passion and all of that, you're there, right?
Right.
This is my prognosis, right? I do not think he's scamming the people. I think the nigga is crazy.
Umar Johnson is psychotic crazy. That man is actually literally bipolar. And you can tell in the way he projects his voice. He just gets it like there's some type of aggression in it. Like that man has a lot of issues. I'm gonna tell you that off the top. Umar does not have a team behind him to really plan this thing out. And that's what these brothers in this video is going to explain to you. Umar had, to me, personally, Umar Johnson had no intention of opening up no school at all. This is a scam. And if you go back in his history, he's been involved in other school scams, like the St. Paul's that he's supposed to be buying. That he supposedly said that the agents got it. Then he lied to was a Storm Monroe in that interview saying white people had it. I think he went. I think it was either on the Breakfast Club. It was two different stories with that. For all the certification that Umar Johnson has, since the man has a degree in psychiatry and all this other stuff, the man is not that smart at all. It makes you question if he's even a fraud.
No. I think the psychologist needs a psychiatrist because this shit only exists in his head movies, right?
Yeah.
This shit is fantastic. And I never see nobody around him. I don't see a 150-page dossier breakdown of the game plan where other people can, cross-check.
Like I said, he does not have a plan. Okay, he doesn't plan this thing out. To have a school, that's like a 4 to 5 year plan. And you gotta already have the funding involved. And even then, you gotta get assistance. Ain't nobody just gonna put, even LeBron, you look at LeBron James, for example. When LeBron James got a school, LeBron James had a team. He has a team of other people around him who helped him build that. He got a board of directors that he confined in and he talked to. And they put their money together. He got help from the government. Technically. But LeBron put his money in there, but he had other people helping him to build it. To get the foundation going. It took LeBron James around 4 to 5 years to build his school. Here, Umar, this man been saying this for like the last 8 years. Going on 8, 9 years. Okay, so you see what you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody who does not have a full plan. He was not thinking clearly. He's not somebody that has any intention of trying to put up a school, because if he did, the school would have been up by now and running.
It sounds like when he talks about what the school's gonna have, it sounds like he's just freestyling. Like,
But that's my point.
Yeah.
In his mind, see, I don't want y'all to think I'm being funny here. I'm dead ass serious. Mental health. See, we got a thing that think mental health mean you stupid. Hell no. There are brilliant people with mental issues. His ego has elevated him beyond reality that he lives in. This nigga is not crazy. He crazy. Quiet as kept. And let me tell you what did it for me. I was listening to his live, and he said, brothers and sisters. You know, he say shit 3 times. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. After this school is built, I will become the most dangerous man in the world. And I'm going to need guards of Garvey, an elite tactical team, to follow me. When the nigga said that.
Now, y'all got to understand this. When you start saying you need a task force, now I understand in schools, you know, there's been a lot of school shootings over the last 10 years. I get that. There's the kids that are crazy because they're not being loved and they're angry. So they're taking their anger out on children. I get all that, right? But you need a task force like that everywhere you go, that means that something's up with that. And most of the time, most people that run a task force, they're normally running in a cult. So you got to be careful having your kids around Umar. Because at one time, and whatever it was, he said he wanted parents to give their kids to him. They want the parents to have their children living with him. If you don't believe me, you can go look that up. That man has actually said this in interviews. He's that crazy. And he's saying he's the most dangerous man in the world. So in other words, he's saying that you're more dangerous than the priest or the Pope. You're more dangerous than Kim Jong-un. You're more dangerous than General Yatsu. Yatsu is the most dangerous man in the world. Okay, that's Israel. That's God's chosen people. Still to this day, there hasn't been a single army that threatened them. And there's reason behind that. They're so dangerous, Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich didn't bother going over there. Umar saying he's even more dangerous than Vladimir Putin, the president of the United States, our highest ranking officers and soldiers in the army. That man's even saying he's more dangerous than the Colombo family that Michael Francis came out of. And I met that man in real life. That man was a very, very dangerous at one point in time before he turned his life around and gave his life to God. So that's what Umar's saying. He's more dangerous than them. He's saying he's more dangerous than the average OG on the hood. And I'm going to get to that too. Because Umar has said some very questionable things that make you wonder, is he even the right man to even be given the title of superintendent? But remember, task force, that means there's something's up with that. Okay, he's ready to go to war. That man is ready to die for what he's believing in. That means anybody come after him, it's going to be a war. That's what he's basically saying. He's starting to get a little beside himself. Again, y'all, that's mental. That's called mental illness. That's what that is.
Shit, I said, wait a minute. Hold on. And he said it with such a straight face that it clicked to me. He believes that shit. In this nigga's head movies, and I love Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar, I'm pretty sure you can get my number from anybody in the conscious community. Because this is not a personal attack on you. This is my psychoanalysis of what I see. That shit exists only in your head movies, and because there's nobody around you giving you checks and balances.
And me personally, I don't like a bunch of yes men around me. I like people that's going to tell me when I'm wrong. Because that's what a real friend is. The problem with Umar Johnson is people is kissing his behind. They worship that man. This is what happens when you be in worship. Umar thinks of himself as a god. That he's above everybody. But technical task force, remember, Jim Jones had a technical task force too. And I'm not talking about the rapper neither. Everybody need to go look up Jim Jones for the 1970s. The Caucasian man that rounded all them black folks to the island and was making them work for slave labor. And if you try to escape, he had his task force kill you. It wasn't until the FBI and UN found out what was going on through a letter that was secretly passed through, and it got up to the United States, and they tried to send people to go come after and question Jim Jones. Jim Jones decided to kill everybody in a mass suicide. And the only people that actually survived that was his children. And the other kids at the time that were on the boys basketball team in a championship game. But go look that up. I saw him in a documentary a long time ago. It's very shocking. But yeah, Umar Johnson may come off as another Jim Jones. There's been many other cult leaders. Jim Jones ain't the only one. You got to watch those type of people. Okay? And that's just me doing this for a reason, because I'm trying to warn people to be careful of that. You need to watch who you paying attention to and who you put your money into.
And keeping you grounded in reality, you actually think. This is what I mean. He's not trying to scam the people. This ain't about hustling a little money. He, in his mind, believes that shit. Those of us who have common sense or who are grounded in reality know that is physically fucking impossible. I got a nephew named Preston Martin. This month, nephew. He's a Lego guru. He couldn't build that shit with Legos in 6 fucking months. If I said, look, Preston, give me 4 buildings, give me a gym, put some cameras around it, give me nurses back. Uncle Wayne, you know how to go to school, right? He couldn't do that shit with fucking Legos, right? So his mind, and see, that's the mind is so powerful. If it's not checked, it's brilliant. It will take. And another thing, every time somebody asks him a question, his answers are, "We're gonna teach them agriculture. We taking them to Africa. They're gonna be Orishas. They're gonna be initiated."
And all that costs a tremendous amount of money. It's not cheap, especially taking a child overseas to Africa. For one, to even try to go overseas, for one, you need a passport. That's gonna cost money, and that's a process to get. Okay. Now I think the average passport, for what I've been told, is like $50 or more, around $50 minimum, depending on where you go. Even then, that's a process. You gotta wait like 6 months to get that in. And on top of that, one flight to Africa from Africa is over $1,000, well over $800. That's an international flight. That's not cheap, people. And then how does he expect the people to really to go to Africa when people are scared to get vaccinated? That's why I'm trying to figure that out too. Since there's a lot of people that were scared of the jug, right? You didn't want to get vaccinated. You didn't trust the government when they was giving those flu shots from Rite Aid or whatever, right? Nobody trusts Johnson & Johnson. Nobody trusted Pfizer. So what made you think he finna these parents, especially these conscious ones, if they didn't get vaccinated, don't you know they ain't finna have their children vaccinated? You got to get vaccinated to go to Africa. That's now the law, and that's the rule. Because Africa is a different country. That's a different continent. They got different diseases that our bodies are not immune to. So by getting vaccinated, it protects you from certain immunities. It immunes your body from certain diseases out there. So you don't spread that when you come back here and get more people sick. But Dr. Umar obviously is not thinking about that at all. Which questions to me if he was really an actual president. Excuse me, not president. Was he a president of, was he the principal of a school? The man tries to act like he's a president, but he really ain't. But no, that question me if Dr. Umar Johnson is really a principal, was he really a vice principal? Because you're clearly not thinking clearly at all. That's not logical. But let's continue.
Shit. We're gonna teach them how to hunt. We creating a space program. His shit is so straight face that he's not conning you. Con don't work that way. He literally he's in his own world. He said he's the King Kong of consciousness. When you say stuff like that, or that you are, so you mean to tell me you don't have a tactical team in place already? You don't have the guards of Garvey. You are the most dangerous man in 6 months. And you're going to take applications and shit? You're going to be like, all right, nigga, no karate. Okay, he could be on the tactical. How the fuck is that even possible? The very people you hire are going to be the people that turn around and bust you in your fucking head. Are you kidding me? And then the Nation of Islam even called in and said, your brother.
The Nation of Islam, that's the closest thing you could get to actual task force. The Nation of Islam protect their own. That's the Black Mafia, for those of you who didn't know. But see, Dr. Umar is somebody you can't tell him nothing. Because he's too much of a so-called alpha male. It's too much into his head. You can't tell him nothing. You can't give him no advice. Just like Lord Jamar. If y'all go back and go watch that interview, Lord Jamar tried to help that brother, and he wouldn't listen to him at all. He started talking like he didn't need Lord Jamar's help. So Lord Jamar had to expose him later on because Dr. Umar was getting beside himself. Then got pissed off when Lord Jamar told him off and just told him the truth. And that's what this brother right here is alluding to.
Brother, when you touch down, if you need help, we got you. No, you can help me here, but I'm gonna need my own security team. You ain't got that in place. That's some shit you create in your mind.
Right.
When I come around, you see Farrakhan? That ain't nothing. Farrakhan, work with 150 people, right? That ain't nothing. The president got security 10 blocks out. Nah, I'm the most dangerous man in America. That triggered something for me, and it made me realize he actually believes that. I don't even think he has a website, right? I would even respect.
Yeah, y'all could correct me wrong, but how many people see Umar Johnson with a website? See, if you're gonna run a school program, you would need a website. You look at most of these schools that's in these districts, they all got their own website. Out here in California, you have the Long Beach Unified School District, you have the LA Unified, Orange County. There's all different types of schools that have their own websites. See, Umar Johnson is somebody, again, he don't have no plan. Like, this is why people said he's scamming, because it's obvious he don't have proper structure. He's collecting all this money, he's been doing it for years, and people are not seeing hardly nothing. With the money that man collected, he usually should at least have a website and have a site where people can at least order their materials. Like, you should at least have a website where you can register. He don't got none of that. Again, if he does, y'all show me, man. Y'all, because I don't follow Umar. I don't have nothing to do with him because he a crook, he a fake, and I don't follow people like that. But y'all let me know.
Respect him more, right? If he said, brothers and sisters, August 19th of 2020.
I heard he did throw that date out there.
Okay, or 2021. Yeah. And then on the website it was countdown. What about all the kids who's supposed to be accepted already? By this point, if you're talking August 2019, these kids should already have their acceptance letters. Right. Welcome, congratulations, you've made it into the Marcus Garvey School, or whatever. Parents, this is what you bring, and the kids could be photo ops online. Yeah, I got in. No, you mean you're gonna do all of this shit? Get the $1 million you need, which is no money
at all. No,
right? That's no money for what you're talking. Yeah. And just whisk the kids into the building. It's not humanly possible, right? If he stressed it out and had niggas like on the website, photo ops drilling, he's coming around his hard hat, tapping niggas on the shoulder, or the famous blueprint shot. He's sitting around with the hard pointing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Blueprint shots. Because this is what has to happen in the real.
But Umar is so, like, in his world that he don't even hire the right people. He don't got that kind of, he's not using that money. He has no intention of having that school open. Because if he really had that school open, he's really serious about building a school, y'all, he would have had one built from the ground up. Like Lord Jamar tried to tell him to do. The buildings he got, they're not, again, he got buildings for cheap. Them buildings, the man got taken advantage of. Right? He's taking advantage of you, but the man don't even got quality buildings. That man purchased some old buildings. Like old ran down buildings. Now he's not going to even have enough money to even get to code. I'm going to tell you that right off the top. He don't have enough people working for him. He don't have the money to do it. Or he's not going to use it. He got the money, he's just not going to use it. Why? Because that money's going on his pockets. He's living off of it. That's where that money's going. I'm just letting y'all know that off the top. Because if he was really serious, that school would have been up and running by now. That school would have been running 3-4 years ago. Things, again, it's just not adding up. It's not making sense.
Construction workers got to come through carrying lumber. Cement got to be dumped. Electricians got to pull. It's got to be up to code on all of this.
It has to be an accredited place. So,
and another thing, Umar Johnson say he's hiring people that don't necessarily need to be credited. He try to be independent, but ain't nobody, the government, I don't care who you are, the government's not going to allow any school to be ran that's not credited. Period. I'm gonna say this again. You can't have a school and the teachers who work for you that are employed by you are not credited teachers with no certification. Especially through grades, kindergarten through 12th grade. You're not gonna allow any school, no matter if it's a private school or a boarding school, you can't run no school without any accreditation. I'm sorry, it just don't work that way. This brother here is right. Umar Johnson is not in reality at all. Like, he's not thinking. Yet this man is somebody, Umar claims he's worked for a school before, but it's like, you should know better than that. Everybody in that school he worked with that was his co-worker were all employed and were credited. Again, like, this is stuff, this is insane. This is Looney Tunes.
Kids can legally.
Absolutely. So, no, you have none of that? You have none of that.
One thing that his followers would say is, well, he wants to be an independent school. My response is, if you want to be an independent school that has no state interference, that means you're taking tuition.
Right. So you mean these poor kids who don't have a father, who suffer from ADHD and all of this, who's going to pay that?
It's not finna be the mother. The average mother that's on welfare, try to work 2 jobs, she ain't gonna be able to afford that. When mortgage is high, it's even nowadays, rent is high. Especially out here in California. I know it's high in up there in Philadelphia, the East Coast, where he at, in Delaware. Let's just be honest. Ain't nobody gonna be paying for that. Ain't nobody could afford those $500 every 2-3 weeks or months. Excuse me, every month or 2 months, however you gonna charge it. Like that again. That's not again. Umar is not in reality. It's not like you finna have a bunch of rich folks, rich black folks. It's not like this is Beverly Hills or Baldwin Hills. Ain't nobody like that gonna be going to his school. Let's be honest. That's a lot of money. And it's all Umar gonna be charging an arm and leg too. I'm being honest. The man is money hungry.
Who paying the tuition?
Right.
That $1 million? Are you kidding? You can't even keep the building running for $1 million.
I think for a year.
You know what I'm saying? With electricians, this, that, security.
And in school, you gotta pay a mortgage, just like a house. Tell you now. And the school has a board. They got a board of trustees they got a board of investors. Since Umar said he don't like taking money from the white man, how else you go try to get a school going? The white man gonna need your help just like the white man needs the black man's help. Any black person that's ever ran a school, they didn't run it by themselves. They had money, but they needed the white folks' help. They helped them get that school started. Okay. So Umar don't want to take no grants. He want to take no funding. Something wrong with him.
It's impossible, right? So we know that this is not humanly possible, right? But in his mind, his fucking head movies, it does. And he really is standing on that. And that leads me to say that perhaps he has some mental issues.
Because I was also thinking to myself, like, because a lot of people are throwing the scammer word around. I'm like, you can't be that brazen.
That's my point. That is a brazen scam. And he don't, again, this is for the people who love Umar, and I'm one of them. He never came across to me as a scammer. To me. He never came across to me as somebody who was just trying to get a few dollars and this ever. He came across to me as a leading scholar, the leading voice on what's going on with black teens in America and this and that, and the school system and this and that, and somebody who I can rely on for that information, and I still would. It's just that when we start talking about this school and what this school is going to represent, and he had the audacity to say, if you do not have a natural, you can't work there.
Now, Umar should know better than this because natural hair, and I get that it's all like legal now. You can't discriminate against nobody with natural hair. You can't. You can't discriminate against somebody with natural hair, but it also means you can't discriminate against people who have a perm. You know, people who chin their way their hair a certain way with braids and everything. You can't discriminate against them. Like again, Umar is these things is just not gonna fly. Like something's wrong with him. The only way this could work, this man got to live in another country, which he's not going to do. This is not a communist country. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. But let's hear a little bit more of that.
Right? I'll come and cut your hair off myself. That is called discrimination.
And how you going? Ain't nobody gonna let you touch their hair. Like, man, this ain't the military. Like, man, like something is wrong with that man. Something's wrong with that brother. Like I said, you can't tell somebody how they should be wearing their hair. In the workforce, it's illegal now. Just like you can't tell somebody to take off a hijab. If a man like a Middle Eastern decides to come into your establishment and they put in their resume and they wearing a turban, you can't deny them because of what they representing or their religion. Can't do that. That don't work like that. They got laws that protect them people. Just like the LGBTQ, got laws that protect them because of their sexual orientation. Again, Umar says stuff that he don't even think about what he's saying. And it comes off as extreme.
In 101. That means they're going to send somebody to the school with all the credentials to teach and all the qualifications with a blonde, or perm, and you deny them on the claim of that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to sue you dumbass. Immediately. The feds going to send somebody up there for that shit.
And that's facts. See, that's the only reason why Umar ain't opened up the school, because they know the feds coming for him. Or they gonna get him. Right? It's clear as day. They just waiting for the right time. Now I'm gonna show you something right here, and I want people to pay attention and salute to Leonard Honor. And by the way, before I continue, right? That video was 3 years ago. Okay, so I want you to look at the date. That was 3 years ago. It's 2022 going to 23. So if he really was serious about opening up school, it would have been opened up. But I want you to see something here. And again, salute to the Storm Monroe. He had this interview going for Umar, but I want everybody again to pay attention, because Leonard here has exposed Umar for, again, being a fake. He is somebody who shouldn't be trusted. And I've been researching this. I've been looking into it. A lot of what this man right here says is true. And he has receipts, by the way, to prove that Umar Johnson been fleecing the sheep. He been taking money and not using it to really put a school going. He has no intention.
Black boys need black men. And every time you see all right, hear what he just said? A brother doing the wrong thing, all black men should be held accountable for it. Okay, all black men should be held accountable for when these black men be doing the wrong thing, or when these boys are out here on the street selling dope and blah, blah, blah. All right, well, let's see what Umar said about the black boys, the dope boys, and the brothers the young men on the corner, young boys on the corner. Let's listen. Let's take a look right here from Umar's own mouth.
And I want everybody to listen up, because it's going to be very, very shocking. And this is why I say this man should not be running no school at all. He should not be in charge, being nobody's principal, nobody's superintendent, let alone a CEO.
Let me know if y'all hear the audio.
His 2017 promotion of murdering police officers is comparable to Umar Johnson's 2013 promotion of murdering so-called black boy thugs.
A lot of boys who got the thug energy, anger. Thug energy is normally anger and pain. That's all it is. I know, because I do therapy with them thugs. And once they see I ain't scared of them, then we can have a conversation. And fellas, I want to be clear now. When we go back to take over the community, because we're going to have to do it, gentlemen, you can't expect the cops to fix this, because they started it. But I want to be clear. I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone that we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood.
And once you mean by sleep, bang, bang. Okay, that's what he means. He want parents to kill their own kids because their kids decide to game bang and be out there thugging. That don't make an ounce of sense. Like, why would you encourage something like that? I tell you, man, this man is a demon. You see, what people gonna understand, the devil uses anybody. The devil comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. If the devil was able to go in as a snake in the Garden of Eden and convince Eve to bite of the fruit and then tell Adam to do the same thing, and they both disobey God and get punished for it, Who do you think the devil gonna use next? The devil will use anybody. This man here is full of demons.
Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep.
Look at that, crazy. Now, this man basically is using God's name in vain. Because it says, thou shalt not kill. Ain't nobody stupid enough to do that. Anybody stupid enough to do that, they out of their mind. He ain't worth killing for it. I'm just be honest. Again, Umar Johnson ain't worth killing behind. He ain't. Look at that, for God, right? Again, he's basically talking about Satan. He's killing for the devil. He ain't killing for Jesus because Jesus is a loving God. Jesus is a forgiving God. Lord Yahweh Yahshua, he's a God of compassion. Now this man wants everybody to go against the 10 commandments. This man violated at least 2 out of the 10 commandments. Now is this somebody that we should be trusted building a school? Look at that man's face. Now this man is, again, insane, insanity. This is the face of a demon. Umar Johnson got a real murderous spirit in him. He's crazy. Okay? And this was back then. This was back in like 2012, 2013, 2011, around that time. Long before he decided to even start a school up. Again, this is not somebody you should be trusted with your children. I'll tell you that now. Insane. I mean, pure insanity. He's out of his mind. So what do you think is going on now? That he's gotten, you know what I'm saying, all this money, and he's thinking that he's on top of the world. What do you think he's going to do?
That's what I'm saying. Talk is talk. And you can talk all this black power talk, and you can talk all this, I love the queens, and you can talk all this, we got to be president for these boys, and black men need to stand up. Yeah, that sounds all great, but are you doing that? And isn't that contradictory to Umar and how he lives his life out here running through these black women like a male hoe, and then you up here talking about murdering black boys? And this ain't the only time he said that. I have other clips where he's doubled up on it. He's actually tripled up on this comment. And I've heard black people say, well, he's right. Okay. Now, if a white person said that, they're a white supremacist, and now.
And that's one of the reasons why Kanye West wore that White Lives Matter. Because black folks are triggered behind it. So how could we talk about white people when look what again, Umar Johnson wants you to kill, go to the hood and start war. Just shoot somebody because they choose the gay man. Instead of trying to help them in and come to agreement and try at least talk them out of doing what they're doing, he wants you to go shoot them. Right? He feels that's the answer. Again, this is somebody that's not a real psychiatrist, like somebody that's that does psychology and has a degree in psychology. They're not gonna be talking like that. They really not. That's not gonna come out their mouth because they know it's unintelligent. That would not be the smartest thing to do at all. Plus, it makes you a murderer. You just as guilty because you encouraged the killing to go on. Again, y'all, this is who people follow, but this is somebody's hero. Black folks is falling behind him and worshiping him. Black folks is really looking up to Umar.
Black Lives Matter, and we all upset and blah, blah, blah. But when Umar says it, somehow it's okay. This is how I know Umar ain't dealt with no black boy. This is how I know he ain't raised one. You wouldn't be talking like this. With all the shit listen, and I'm not a complainer. Y'all know I am. All the shit that black people have to deal with, black men have to deal with, blah, 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 et cetera, from the time we young, the time we old. These types of comments are it's beyond the scope. It's ridiculous. They got someone who's supposed to be a black leader talking about the wanton murder of these black boys on these corners. That's the solution? Matter of fact, let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and play the rest of this. Watch.
To be clear, when Umar Johnson states
this guy's nuts. Look at it.
Good, he is stating that
crazy
these
ass
black boy thugs need to be murdered.
But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep.
In 2019, Umar Johnson promoted the murder of 10% of black boys.
I'm saying that to say this. I've never taken a life, God forbid. I hope I never have to. But if we're going to take them streets back, we got to admit something. I'm talking as a psychologist. Some of our young men, we let them go so far for so long, they're no good to no damn body. There's people walking these streets where we will have to put to sleep. In other words, you might have to create violence to end it.
Again, this is not somebody you trust. I'm telling you that now. See, that's why he wants a task force. He can do whatever he want to do. That man want a task force so he can go to war and kill somebody. Anybody try to stop him, it's gonna be a shootout. And again, y'all, I'm saying this to warn all of you. You sending your kids to this man's school, you falling for the trap. The devil got you. Because he's obviously demon possessed. The man got a lot of issues upstairs. Look at his eyes, the way he talk, man. This is insane. He is somebody who belongs in a mental institution. Getting monitored every day. And this was back then. Okay, see, you let somebody talk long enough, they gonna tell you exactly who they are.
It will be a cataclysmic altercation between black men and some of our youth. Most of our youth, we can get it. But there's some of them, they ain't going without a fight. And they gonna have to be put to bed. It's a shame. It ain't their fault. You understand? But
So if it's not their fault, then why would you promote violence against them and try to help them in? Now, God can save anybody. Right? But you told you, man, the man for God, he tried to kill somebody. No, that's Satan. Yeah, people need to know how to identify the devil and when it's God talking. The way Umar's talking in this one particular interview, that was a demon. That was a devil. That was Satan. See, Satan comes as an angel of light, but he really ain't. He's a deceiver. He's a liar. He's out to steal, kill, and destroy. And again, I'm not trying to tear Umar Johnson down. I don't want no beef, but he needs help. And I'm warning other people that support him, watch out. You got to be careful. Because who's going to really kill their son or daughter because they out there game banging? No parent wants to do that. This is not Jungle Fever, where that man had to put down Gator. No, this ain't that movie. Because that person was a drug addict and was stealing from the family. No, this ain't that show. That's not reality. Because if a child is stealing from their parents, they're going to put that child in jail. Or they're going to whip that child's behind. Grown or not. Like, come on, man. Let's just be honest. You don't need to start following behind these people that talk all that black culture stuff, but look what they're doing. They're encouraging people to do something that's going to land them in jail for the rest of their life.
But you have a population of unreachables. The white man wants us to think they all unreachable. 90% are reachable. 10%, we will have to have a civil war with, and that's facts. Don't give your guns back. Buy some more.
You heard that, right? Civil war. Yet we complain about these officers in the uniforms and the badges killing us innocently, right? We saw what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. We didn't like that at all. But look what Umar's doing. Yeah, you wonder why the violence ain't ending. It's because of people like him that encourage it. Now we're going to get something that's extremely disturbing. And this is another reason why this man should not be given access to no kids at any one of his schools. Or the school he plans on opening. That to me is never going to happen. But let's listen in closely. And again, shouts out to this brother here. This man here did his research, he did his homework, and exposed Umar. And Umar has since then tried to send goons, say he gonna have people run up on this man and everything because of these videos, which had to happen.
Is the idea of Umar having a pre-K or a daycare? It's disturbing, and I'm going to show you guys why right now. That we're going to be done for tonight. Just everyone, just hold on real quick. I have some audio for you all. And this is from the Big Papa podcast, May 16th, 2020. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this, and then whatever. If he's still talking about the school, we'll end. But I think he's almost done, and then we'll be done for tonight. But I want y'all to hear this. Let me know if you can hear the audio.
Good afternoon, mothers and fathers. Welcome to.
And notice the soothing sound of his voice. See, the devil works like this too. Okay, y'all gonna come to find out, man. See, people that think they know the devil, they really don't know the devil. Because there's not enough videos exposing Umar. See, everybody want to expose Beyonce, you want to expose Jay-Z, you expose an athlete all day, a rapper, but nobody wants to go after Umar Johnson, I notice. Yet you'll talk about Kurt Franklin. Now, I'm looking at this. But Umar Johnson go undetected. I'll tell you, man, that's how the devil gonna get you when he makes you feel like he don't exist, when he's able to blend in.
The first orientation for the much anticipated Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Black Boys. This school is the most anticipated independent
Can y'all hear the audio?
school in America.
Yeah, let me know if you can hear the audio.
It is the only school in world history to have been purchased with funds
Yeah, it is
donated
low.
from every African community in the world. I want to be clear right from the beginning that the purpose of this school is not only to prepare your child for college. It is not primarily to prepare your son to get accepted to a trade school. It is not the exclusive focus of FDMG to make sure your son is able to procure and maintain a job. Our goal for your son is
Okay, I'm gonna
much
skip through.
greater. Failure will take place on the weekend. The physical fitness at times will take place on the weekend. But for those children who study academically, they may have to forego their field trips until they raise their academic skill levels. We are not a publicly funded school. As such, there will be no special education, and there will definitely be no psychiatric medication. So if you tell me that your son had an IEP at his previous school and you believe that he needs extra help, well, first of all, we're not even going to take your word for it. Not that we don't believe you, but we need your son to show us what he can do, separate from your handicapping opinions of him.
And that's low down because people can't help if their child is handicapped or born with a disability. Okay, now again, he's saying stuff that's just like I said, just it makes you question if he really has those credentials. Did he steal all that? Did he steal somebody else's identity? Because a real psychologist ain't gonna be talking like that. Somebody that really worked for a school, they not talking like that. That's extremely unintelligent. But let's continue.
So before we make any provisions to provide him with weekend education, we're going to make sure that he can't do the work. Because the school could have been his problem. Last year's teacher could have been his problem. You could have been his problem. A lack of motivation could have been his problem. I can assure you there will be no motivation issues at FDMG Academy. For those children who are found struggling after the first marking period, will be required to come to school on Saturday, and some will be required to come to school on Saturday and Sunday.
Now, he had a line there because ain't no school in America, at least from my knowledge, ain't nobody coming in on no Sunday. Oh, no, hell no. That's just not going to work. Sundays are the days for rest. Now, me being a Christian all my life, me having faith in God, Sundays is for church. Or, some people, they like to rest or enjoy they Sundays watching the game, going to a football, basketball, baseball, whichever sport you're into. No, there's college universities, they ain't allowing their students to come in on Sunday. And if it's Sunday, they got that's a day off to rest and do homework or do laundry. The people who stay on dorms at the universities, the Sunday's a day of rest. They're not going to class on those Sundays. These teachers want their weekends off. That's why you have the union. And if you coming into school on Saturday, that's mostly to play sports. Like I said, if you on a Waller Proto team, you playing soccer, football, basketball, track or whatever, track and field, you're not. That's what gonna be your Saturdays. That's to watch these games being played competitively. NCAA. Even there's high schools that are playing on Saturdays for championship games, or let's say if it's the summertime. But nobody is going to class on no Saturday, let alone Sunday like that. Let's be honest. That's not reality. That's not realistic. Ain't no parents gonna be doing that. Again, Umar is somebody who's clearly mentally insane and out of his mind. He must think somebody's really that damn stupid.
Depending on how far behind they are. If they're not far behind, they will only have to come one day during the weekend. If they are significantly far behind,
Okay, everyone bear with me. We're getting to it.
School on Saturday and Sunday until they are up to grade level. There is no special education, and I can guarantee you that after a couple of weekends, 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, after a couple of weekends missing out on activities, and after a couple of weekends of being forced to come and get an education while their classmates are home relaxing, you're going to see that skills gap disappear. You're going to see those behavior problems disappear. And what you thought was a learning disability was nothing more than a lazy disability that was thoroughly exposed and eliminated by the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. You will be given an opportunity to sign up for the Parent Fundraising Committee. We need parents who are interested in helping us raise money to make sure we can meet all of the financial expectations and obligations of this great academy. If you're interested in the Parent Fundraising Committee, please see my secretary and make sure she has your name and your child's name, and we will let you know when the first meetings will take place. All of our teachers have a school cell phone. I repeat, all of our teachers here at the FDMG Academy.
There is no
school
there are no
cell phone.
teachers.
You are encouraged to text message them your concerns. Text messages are preferable because teachers will not usually be able to take your phone call when you make it. You should never call a teacher during school hours because they're teaching children. And we don't necessarily want to inconvenience our teachers in the evening because they could be busy with their own families. So we're asking you to text message the teacher. By text messaging the teacher, you give them an opportunity to return your call. And every teacher is required to return the calls of parents within 24 hours. If you send a text message at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, then that teacher should have responded to your text message by 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Our parents are very...
Most teachers ain't doing text messages. They either calling you on phone or email. Right? They don't text like that. That again, that's like ain't no. Again, man, this man is just it's frustrating listening to him. It really is. It's like he must think somebody's really stupid. He must think people are really dumb out here. Like, come on, man. Ain't nobody using text messages. It's either phone call or email.
Very important to us. You and your children is why this school exists, and we want to cater to your needs. But we're going to do so while also holding you to high expectations, and we also hold our teachers to high expectations. So you will have a personal number, and if you need the teacher to call you, just tell them in the text message, I would rather have a telephone call than a text conversation, and they will give you a call. If it's a quick question that they can answer, how much money should he take with him to the school trip? Which uniform is he wearing tomorrow? Something like that, or you will be permanently disbarred.
See there, man? He wants control. That's a form of control, y'all. That's like running a cult. You got to be careful with people like that. I'm just keeping it honest. Why would you let your child go to somebody like that? Again, ain't no telling what you gonna do to them kids.
From this camp, understand that as black people, we have here will be second grade, third grade, and fourth grade to increase the tuition.
Real quick, here's the tuition.
Academic fathers, and we will take our jobs extremely seriously. There will be routine vision and hearing screenings here at the FDMG Academy. We have to make sure your son can hear, and we have to make sure your son can see. Without the ability to see and without the ability to hear, then our ability to teach will be significantly compromised.
That's because he don't want to hire the teachers that can actually deal with children of the deaf and know how to do sign language. He's not going to be doing that. I say it's not a real school. Let's be honest, and he don't want to use the money. And you think parents gonna really allow their children to attend that?
I need you to understand that the FDMG school week is a 6-day, not a 5-day week. Your son will not just go to school Monday through Friday. He will go to school Monday through Saturday. And oftentimes, he will even have to come to school Monday through Sunday. Oh, yes, he will be given weekends off. But he will also have to come to school on some of those weekends. However, you need not be concerned, because I can assure you that your son will love being an FDMG student so much that had it been his opportunity, he would stay here every day, all day. I can promise you.
So he wants children to live with him in that campus. Okay? This is why he needs a task force. I'm just being honest, y'all. It's sounding like a cult. He getting ready to run a prison system. I mean, I don't mean it's called like that, but let's just be honest, man. The man is insane. Like, this is not how he's running the school. Is not how most schools are ran. They're not running it like that. And even if it's a military school, that's Army. Those kids that's in military school, they being trained to go to the military, to the actual Army. That's like different. They serving in the Army. And that's what that, like, yeah, kids, parents and they children over there to be disciplined. But that's different. You're not running it. He's not running a military. He's not running a military graded school. And there's military graded schools that's not even gonna be running stuff like that.
To that, I, as the principal and the CEO, will not be directly involved in the collection of your son's tuition, which we have here will be 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade. Next year will be 1st grade through a season. We will go out and we will spend the whole weekend. We will teach your sons how to live off the land. They will learn how to raise,
I think this is it right here.
How to start a fire, how to clean water, how to trap animals, how to prepare food. This will be a bonding opportunity, and parents will be allowed to accompany us. A certain number of parents will be allowed to come on the camping trips, male and female, so you can see firsthand the progress of how we are turning your boy into a leader. We will have a family day twice a year. Family day will be a day where you can come and there will be activities, competitions, festivals, social events where parents can get to know each other and get to know each other's children, and most of all, to bond. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is right here. Give me 1 second. I apologize.
It'll be easier to find this way.
Good afternoon, mothers and fathers. Welcome to school.
All right, let me get to it.
We'll cuddle near the fireside.
Here it is right here.
Have dinner.
All right, I apologize. Listen to this, everybody.
With their year will be pre-K through.
Right. Just to be clear about this, wow, we still got 90 people in here. It's late too. Thank y'all so much. You all hit the like button. If I'm missing any super chats, I apologize. This is going to be it right here. Remember, Umar, I was talking about how the idea of Umar even being around children, it's a problem. And there's so many examples. It's already given an example. I'm talking about little girls' private parts. There's another video clip that I have where he's talking about he can't wait to have the boys enrolled so he can throw a sleeping, what do they call those? A slumber party. And he's going to lock the boys in the building and turn the lights off and play capture the flag.
Now, you know, that's some sick stuff. Now, people got on Michael Jackson because he was sleeping with boys in his house, throwing slumber parties. And even though Michael didn't physically touch them or do anything sexual to them, he still had to go to court behind that. And he got criticized for that. So Michael Jackson went through all that. Why the hell would you send your sons to this man's school? Again, look at that face. That's the face of a demon. That's the face of a devil. I'm calling him out now. I don't care if he get mad. He get mad at me all day. Facts is facts, and truth is truth. I expose people like him. But you're going to see, because again, it's pedophilia. Again, this country is getting more and more perverted because of people like him.
There's so many different examples of this, but this one right here is the one that we were watching, and it's more recently we were watching, and my jaw dropped. This is what I mean. The idea of him being around children in the first, that's crazy, but then he's talking about pre-K, and then he talks about, no. Listen to this.
And everybody gonna come to find out the pedophile ain't just in the white man. The pedophile not just in the Caucasian priests in these Catholic churches. No, the pedophile could be the average black man. We seen R. Kelly, right? I've already done a video on Brother Polite just last year. Him dealing with a 14-year-old trying to take her to a nightclub in Miami. I mean, really, he was trying to take her back to his hotel room and screw her. With her mama in the other house, left behind in the house while he go do his thing with her daughter. That's a real pedophile. Pedophile could be in black men too. And you about to see that.
And I know it's low, I apologize, but if you guys can listen carefully, here we go.
7th grade. Our 5th year will be daycare through 8th grade, and then it's just a matter of time before we flesh out the high school. That is how we operate. As I said earlier, there will be a long day for every grade. The long day for 2nd graders, where they will have dinner in their business suit with their class and class teacher and their school principal, will be Tuesday. 3rd graders, their long day will be Wednesday. 4th graders, their long day will be Thursday. Your students will be dropped off to their homes following the dinner and fireside chat with Dr. Umar Johnson.
Now, why you talk about fireside? Like, to me, when you talk about fireside, that's like getting intimate. That's like getting romantic with somebody. That's taking somebody out to like a nice. That's like you taking your date to a nice restaurant and you got a fireside right there. That's what I mean by fireside. Like, and in a suit like this man got on. Like, come on now. Like, are we really going that far? Again, this man talks like he's really a psychologist. Like, it makes you wonder. But let's continue because it's sick.
The fireside chat is a post-dinner activity where your sons and I will cuddle near.
Again, now when you say cuddle, again, that's getting intimate. That's a relationship. Now, people who are same sex, men who like other men, that's what they do. You know, the people who are trans, right? That's what they do with other men. They cuddle with men their own age. Again, the only type of men that cuddle that want to get next to a child in a fireplace like that is men who are pedophiles. Especially when it's not their own child, they're not their own son. And my dad wasn't getting down like that. Okay, I'm just keeping y'all. I'm being honest, y'all. I'm showing you what's going on. This is a real demon you're dealing with. This man is a devil. He talked that good talk, right? But behind closed doors, that man want to do something nasty to your little boys. You want to do something nasty to your underage son. Because why would you want somebody to cuddle by a fireplace? That's romantic.
Near the fireside, and I will relate to them one of the great stories.
No. This supposed to be, what did he say, 2nd graders? A lot of people ain't heard that. This is just one example. There's so many other examples. I remember one time he said he was going to kidnap the kids from their home and take them out to the wilderness and teach them how to be men.
I saw something like that on Mayans MC. Where it was an older white man in between your ages 40 and 50 was taking some little boy that wasn't even his. Come to find out, they all the way to Mexico for some type of mission. Come to find out that the man just want to take the little boy out in the desert and screw him. So the brother, the main character, saw that and he shot the old man in the back and killed him. Okay, that's what Umar's trying to do. Again, the man is very sick, very nasty. But that's it. I'm not gonna play much more of that video. Salute to Lennon Honor. Salute to Black Dot. Go subscribe to them. But I'm showing y'all that for a reason. This man here is sick. He's somebody you should not let your children be around, period. He needs to be canceled. Permanently canceled. Off all television. He don't need to be doing no more interviews. Canceled. Umar needs to get put in a facility somewhere where he needs to be monitored. The man is sick. The man is crazy. The man is nasty. Right? But y'all, that's the video. But I just need to let everybody see that. Because you subscribers, you people that follow behind Umar, You the ones who keep this man going because of your donations. Stop donating to the man. If y'all stop donating to him, we won't let that happen. That's a disaster waiting to happen. That man want to rape and molest these little boys or little girls, wherever he wants to do, and have his task force stop and kill anybody that tries to interfere. That's what he really wants to do. He wants to start a cult with young folks. That's his whole plan. Get them while they're young. The devil gets people while they're young. The devil loves younger children. He loves the youth. Because he can brainwash them early. So they could become demon possessed. And as they get older, they get violent. With aggression. They start mass murdering a whole lot of people, which you've seen recently. Okay? In the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen this. The kids who done the mass murdering, those children were all demon possessed. And that's what Umar plans on doing. So do not send your kids to that school. There's not going to be a school anyway. The man ain't really serious. But he's somebody who's mentally ill, mentally unstable. He's not fit for nobody to be around, especially in a school. This man is not fit to have nobody's child. This is a man who got fired from a school and scored out of here because he was doing some things he had no business. But y'all take care. God bless. Stay safe. And please protect your children.